Hello YouTube. So today I am going to attempt to build a piece of furniture in the field. So I'm going to use all hand tools for this job, and I'm going to start off with this round here. I guess I could have produced this with like a Silky Big Boy or Silky Katana 500 that I own. The reality is this was cut with a chainsaw, but anyway, the first thing I want to do is make a plank out of this piece. So I'm going to try to use my hatchet to make that happen, and here we go. This is the hatchet that I field expedient rehandled it, and then I rehandled it again properly, so now it has a hickory handle on it, just to the specifications that I like. So it's like a handmade hatchet just for me. Love it. Anyway, see if we can get this thing knocked down. feel good about that. That's a nice size plank for a seating surface, for a tabletop or whatever. So I can make a stool out of this or an end table, whatever I want. And it's all nice, solid. It's actually fat wood, so this thing's not going anywhere. It's not going to dissolve or get eaten by bugs or anything. So I could smooth that out. Actually, I think I'll do that now before I put the legs on it, but I'm going to do that off camera. But that was a good opportunity to check me out hewing out a board. So I have the top of the end table hewn out with my hatchet, and now I'm going to saw some legs out of this down pine tree. So figure I want the height of my table a little bit longer than my saw. Two legs. I don't know. I think I'm going to do a stool end table thing, so I'll just do 3 legs on this one. 3 legs should be all I need. There we go. And for anybody wondering, this is a Silky saw. Silky, I think it's the Ultra Excel Curve. Great saw. Okay, so I have my 3 legs rough cut out and my top. So now I'm going to peel the legs. I think it just helps them just last longer. Get less moisture trapped under the bark, less insect activity. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's how I feel. I'll probably speed this process up on the video because it's kind of boring. But you get the idea. Just take the bark off. Now obviously for the legs, well, maybe it's not obvious, but for the legs I like to use a dried wood. The top can be green, doesn't matter. It's actually preferable to be green, but what happens is the green wood will shrink, so if you build your legs out of the green wood, you'll see later on when you put them into the furniture, it's just like rehandling a hatchet. If you use green wood for that, over time that fiddle will get loose. So you want to use dry wood for that. And you can even see how moist this wood is. The outside of it was dry on top of the bark, but under the bark it was moist. And that's because that bark holds that moisture in. So that's the reason why I peel them. Okay, so now we have our peeled legs. And I put together a new auger kit. So this is going to be kind of the maiden voyage for this kit. But the auger itself I got from Sean of the Wild, is his website. So I had a just like kind of a homemade T-handle auger, Scotch eye auger, that's what they're called. T-handled Scotch eye auger that I had made myself out of a cast iron pipe, but this is kind of a more purpose-built tool. So this is going to be the test flight for this thing. We'll see how it goes. The idea with this is that you can set this thing up here. It's a 1-inch eye. And kind of mark your wood. Now, well, on his site you can actually peel a smaller limb down to size with just the auger, but in this case I'm just going to mark it and then carve it down to size with my hatchet. And knife. Anyway, this right here is probably the most boring, time-consuming process of the entire project. Just getting this thing down to shape. So I'm going to cut out here, and I'll come back when I got all 3 legs carved down. Okay, for this leg, I'm going to use Sean's tool more as it was designed for. So I'll set it up here, and I'm going to drive this thing in pretty much to its limit. There we go. That's it, right? That's the limit. So one thing you got to definitely be careful of is these cutting edges are razor sharp. So you know, obviously when I'm handling that, I got to be careful not to cut myself. But I believe that's how Sean designed the tool to operate. So now it's just a matter of carving those chips out of there, which I think takes a lot of the leg work out. Ah, see what I did there? God, I'm such a goofus Malloy. Yeah, that just split that right off there. Yeah, perfect. Very good, Mr. Sean. Nice work. So that definitely sped things up a little. That's pretty much a finished leg right there. I'll rip out the other one. Okay, I ripped out this Field Expedient handle, and now we're gonna set our legs. So I think this side wants to be the top because it's a little smoother. So we're gonna auger them into this side. So you gotta kind of like be able to visualize how you want your stool to look when it's finished. What you want to avoid is going straight in with your legs. I like to put a little rake on them. Probably, I don't know what that is, maybe a 25-degree angle. And then my two back legs I'll rake out at 25. Anyway, get to augering. Looks like it's about centered. Now you could start straight up and down just to get your thread going. And then once it starts taking a bite, I'll bend it over a little bit to the angle I want. Kind of check it, make sure it's straight. Yeah, that feels good. And start digging in. Now you got to apply a little bit of downward pressure. But this thing eats right into that wood. That's looking good. And that's it. I'm starting to bottom out with my crossbar onto the wood. So I'm going to back it out at this point. Okay, she's coming out. Now let's see what our cleaned up hole is going to look like. Yeah, so that that bit definitely wants to plug up when I'm cutting through because it's fat wood, so it's got a lot of resin in it. So that definitely makes for a more difficult cut. But Sean, I don't know if you're watching this, but my only two suggestions for your tool would be a longer shaft so I can get a deeper hole. And I would love to see this tool with a 1.25 inch or 1.5 inch size bit. 1 inch in my mind is really the smallest size bit that I would want to use for something that's load bearing. It'll work, but anyway, there's the hole. Nice clean deep hole. Other than that, I mean, it worked great. What I do love about it is Sean's bit has 4 cutting surfaces, so a lot of these auger bits have 2, or some of them even have 1. So this has quadruple the amount of cutting surfaces. So nice work on that, Sean. I appreciate it. So anyway, it's just a matter of me repeating that process twice, 2 more times, here and here. I'm not going to bore you with that. I'll just come back with the finished product. Okay, for the final step in the process is fitting the legs and cutting them to size and shape. So pretty straightforward. Just take my hatchet and drive that in there. So you can see these 2 back legs, it's kind of an eyeball process. You're trying to get the same break and angle on them. Came out alright, not bad. Let's see where we're at. Okay. To me, that's a little high. I mean, I guess it's alright, but I think it wants to come down more. So what I'll do, try to get this thing on like some quasi-level ground. Mark it to where I think it wants to go. So when I cut these legs off, you can see that when I marked them, it's going to cut so that when the chair's on the ground, the leg is flat. There's different opinions on that. Some guys like it to be pointed so it digs in a little more. I usually try to go with the flat. Okay, it's one. 2. I didn't mark the third one because I just want to see the lay of the land before I make that cut. Alright. And I'm glad I did it because that one does not need to be cut much. That height's not bad. Alright, let's see. Let's cut that last one. Go. Hey, Walnut. That's it. That's the finished product. I'm ready to milk a cow. Thanks for watching another video. If you liked it, make sure to subscribe, thumbs up it. And let me say this. Shawn of the Wild, nice work on your tool. I mean, the only limitations to this tool are your imagination. You could pretty much furnish an entire cabin out in the woods with no electric. You could build tables, chairs, hat hangers, you name it. It's just a magnificent tool to have in your kit. So, great job, Shawn. Thank you for the tool.